Have you ever felt like your world was crashing down because someone you trusted betrayed you? That's because the impact of betrayal trauma goes beyond just emotional pain. And when it's your partner who betrays you, that can hurt even more. So today we're going to talk about a topic that affects so many people but is rarely discussed, which is partner betrayal trauma. Whether it's infidelity, lies, or deceit, betrayal from a loved one can have long-lasting effects on the brain. And in this video, we'll explain the true impact of partner betrayal trauma. But first, let's shed some light on what this kind of trauma really is. Because the truth is, it's not just what most people think. We get it. Most people know that partner betrayal can happen in many ways, like cheating with prostitutes or having an affair with someone close, like a friend or coworker. But guess what? That's just one part of partner betrayal trauma. This type of trauma also includes pornography and intimacy anorexia. When talking about pornography and how it's linked to partner betrayal trauma, imagine this. You think you're living a happy life with your partner, but then you find out that they're an avid viewer of pornography. Suddenly, you feel inadequate about meeting their needs, right? You can also start questioning everything you thought you knew about them. And as you learn more about their sexual interests, things get even worse, and it can make you feel like your world is upside down. Now, let's talk about intimacy anorexia. This happens when you're married to someone or have a partner who doesn't truly give you their heart. They're always too busy for you, for instance, but somehow it's your fault. As a result, they withhold love and praise, turning to anger and silence instead. And if you do have sex with each other, they're either disconnected or not really intimate. They also can't open up about their feelings for you. Ultimately, this leaves you feeling neglected, alone, and unwanted in your own relationship. Here's the unfortunate reality. When someone experiences partner betrayal, it can make them feel like being hit by a truck. There's no visible blood, but inside, they're completely shattered and their spirit is deeply wounded. Even their past feels broken because everything, from how they see themselves and their understanding of the betrayer, to memories from holidays, vacations, and birthdays, is now tinged with a painful new story. That's not all. Their present is in pieces because they're unsure about their future. So they find themselves asking questions like, who is this person? Do I have the guts to move forward with them? Or am I capable of leaving them? These big life questions, which they never really thought about before, now need answers. The whole foundation of their life has been yanked out from under them, leaving them flat on the floor, completely disoriented. They can't tell what's real in the relationship anymore. And if that wasn't bad enough, their future is in shambles. Unfortunately, women have the short end of the stick here. It's been reported that the impact of partner betrayal trauma on them is 2.6 times greater compared to men. This happens because of differences in their brain structure, making the impact tougher on women. They can't get over the trauma easily. It takes a bit longer for their brain to boost neuroplasticity to help them solve problems instead of getting stuck on one. Now, let's talk about how exactly partner betrayal trauma affects people. Most of us know that trauma can affect someone's health, and this definitely applies to partner betrayal trauma as well. It doesn't matter whether what your partner or spouse did is a major betrayal or something smaller. Its impact on you can be huge, leading to things like depression, weight changes, and emotional or spiritual withdrawal. You might also experience symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, intrusive thoughts, and disturbing dreams. Plus, it can make you hesitant to socialize and connect with others. Before we reveal the other impacts of partner betrayal trauma, by the way, make sure to subscribe if you've learned something new today. What most people don't realize is that when a partner betrays you, your brain starts to work differently. The fear center goes into overdrive and can stay that way, making you super alert. For instance, you end up constantly checking everything, like your phone and computer, where your partner is, even their car's location, just to feel safe. This heightened alertness often leads to restlessness, anxiety, and feeling like you always need to be on guard. When your fear center takes over, it messes with your normal functioning and makes every task seem daunting. It's like having a fear-based app running in your brain all the time. This messes with your ability to keep your emotions in check and stay calm. Plus, it affects your thinking, reasoning, and decision-making, often leading to you making poorer choices. Fear can creep into your finances too. You might worry that if your unfaithful partner leaves, your financial situation could take a hit. This can be devastating, especially if you have children. So, you start thinking, should I put up with this to avoid financial strain? And if they leave, who will support me if things get tough? These worries about the future become a fixture on your mind. And speaking of kids, they'll definitely play a part in your decision. You'll probably wonder whether to tell them about what your partner did or keep them in the dark. Plus, there's the worry about how your choice will impact them. In the end, the intense fear you feel in different parts of your life comes from the trauma your brain goes through because of your partner's betrayal. That's not the end of it. Chances are, your mind will always be racing due to the trauma. Like when you pick up your kids and have to wait for 5 minutes, suddenly, a flood of thoughts and feelings about your life will just hit you out of nowhere. Your emotions might feel out of control. For instance, maybe you've never yelled, cursed, or been violent before. But now, you find yourself doing all of these things, and all that can be overwhelming. Again, all this fear is because of the impact partner betrayal trauma has had on your brain. Plus, your coping skills are really put to the test because you suddenly have to deal with a whole new way of life. Your mind goes into fight mode, focusing all your energy on solving the problem. You start thinking, how can I get my partner the help they need? What steps do we need to take? What's next for us? How do we make sure this never happens again? You shift into a mode where you're fighting for the relationship. This becomes your main priority, and everything else takes a back seat. On the other hand, you might just freeze up, pretending everything is fine to keep the peace at home and avoid any arguments. You can also act like your partner's behavior is just a small bump in the road or something you can ignore. But let's be real, it's not. As you can see, your partner's betrayal can really cut deep and impact you in so many ways. Unfortunately, you can't change the fact that you've been betrayed. Your mind will keep fixating on that moment until something shifts, but nothing in the natural order will make that change happen for you. The good news? There's hope. With the right support, healing from partner betrayal trauma is totally possible. While your brain won't heal on its own if you ignore the issue, it can start to recover with proper treatment. The right therapy can help your brain get back to how it was before the trauma. And this can lead to a more balanced and resilient mind. You can learn to trust again, make better decisions, and cope with your emotions in a healthier way. Remember, it's not your fault that you were betrayed, but it is up to you to take the steps towards healing and rebuilding a life that isn't defined by your partner's actions. And if you like this video, then check out these related videos to see more. And make sure to like this video to let the algorithm know you'd like to see more videos like these.